Howdy and welcome back to Transformers the Game! As you recall in the last episode, I showed you the unused character Pepsi payload. And now, I'm going to show you another bit of unused content. Now this particular content is a set of characters that are in high-res format, but were never used in-game. You'll see who they are very shortly. Behold the unused Sam and Mikaela models. Yeah, these guys actually have full-fledged, highly detailed models in-game. Now, they're all in T-pose right now because they're a little clearer to see, but I'll explain how exactly I made this swap now. Okay, so to get Sam and Mikaela enabled in-game, you'll need to have first extracted the high-res assets via Quick BMS. If you're unsure how to do that, I'll leave a link in the description and the card above that you can check out and learn how to do it. Now, once you have extracted the high-res assets, head to the chars folder. You're going to want to scroll down to one of the pedestrian CFG files. In this case, I'm going to be using Bert for Sam and Betty for Mikaela. So, it's pretty simple. What you want to do is head to the Bert CFG, open it with a text editor. Once you've opened that, you're going to want to change the path chars text from pedestrians object pedestrian civvy Bert to the Sam path, which you can find in the Sam CFG file. Then just paste it over the existing text, and this will make the file read Sam instead of the civvy Bert. Then save that file and do the same thing with Mikaela, just like that. Now this part is optional. If you want Sam and Mikaela to remain in T-pose, you could skip this step. Otherwise, head to the pedestrians folder and pretty much copy everything in here. And then paste it in both the Sam and Mikaela folders. This will allow the game to register the animation files. Again, if you want to see them without the animation glitch, you can skip this step. Otherwise, just paste them in. Now you have the chars part pretty much set up, but there's still a bit more to do. Next, head to the levels folder, and choose the folder of whichever level you're playing, in my case, Demon Tranquility. Then you're going to want to head to the Creatures CFG file, and include these two lines. These lines will make sure Sam and Mikaela are loaded in the game. Now once you have that, go to the level CFG. If you want to have a huge population of Sam and Mikaelas like me, scroll down to the bottom of the file, and notice this section here. These lines indicate what percentage of the population will be what. Now, bear in mind my file is rather modded, yours may look a little different, but if you want a huge population of Sam and Mikaelas, modify the civvy population to 90%. And set everyone else to 0. That will give you a map loaded with Sam and Mikaela so you can find plenty of them. Now if you want to make this even more simpler, you can also remove the additional pedestrians from the Creature CFG file and leave just Betty and Bert so that is all you get. That's optional, but that'll make the population a little bit cleaner. But with that, you should have everything about set. So let's get a nice close look at these models. We'll start with Sammy Boy here first. As you can see, these guys are crazy detailed, so they definitely spent a lot of good work and time on these models. It's a darn shame they weren't used. In any case, he looks pretty much like the standard Sam we know from the movie. Definitely the same model that they used in the cutscenes, that's for sure. I can't tell if his eye just has glare or if he's semi-possessed. But, yeah, it looks like they got all the details pretty down point, from what I know. Again, it's a crazy detail model. Maybe even more so than the Transformers themselves. Wouldn't that be a kick? Looking from the back, pretty much the same deal. Really nicely detailed. Not a lot going on here to mention though, aside from the intense level of detail he has. Okay, well what about Mikaela? Well, Mikaela is pretty much just as detailed as Sam. Looks like she's got a few bugs though, most notably in her hair. I imagine that's because a shader is not functional. She's got all these transparent areas in her hair, which I've seen very frequently in other games. Usually that means that the hair is not shaded properly, so you get a anomaly like that. Details are really nice, just like Sam. She's even got a ring on her hand, which, that is some impressive detailing. Heck, these models, if you could rip these, you could probably port this to another game, because the detail is so pristine and well made. These are darn good models for a game like this. It's very impressive. From the back, about the same. You have a bit more of that missing hair detail, but otherwise, pretty standard. Now if you want to see something really bizarre, I logged the textures for these guys, and there's something surprising to say the least. Okay, so the textures for Sam and Mikaela are the biggest textures for any character in this entire game. The level of detail these models have is nuts. This is bigger texture quality than any Transformer character in the game. Closest to this might be Bone Crusher's vehicle mode. Maybe Ironhide had something close to, but this level of detail is insane. Check it out. I think this is Sam's legs, and the legs alone are at the dimension of 248 by 248. That's the size of a high-res War for Cybertron texture. And this is just the legs. So this is saying something. Here's Mikaela's face texture, which looks kind of weird, but face textures usually do. It too is running at 2048 by 2048, so this is super impressive. It is a shame. Shame is an understatement that these were not used in the game in some fashion. Because this level of detail that just went to waste is just shameful. Because this is amazing. This would be Mikaela's hair, I imagine. Yeah, definitely a lot of stray strands. If you're able to get the shaders fixed up, it'll probably work just fine. This one is running at 1024 by 1024, so a little smaller, but I guess that's sensible. This is Mikaela's torso texture, I imagine. And it's actually running at 1024 by 1024, so a bit lower than the rest. Next we have Sam's arms. These two are 2048 by 2048. His hands. Again, the level of detail here is astounding. If they put this much work into the Transformers models, this game would have been incredible. His face as well is 2048 by 2048. Understandably so. A lot of detail there. I'm not sure what those white spots are supposed to be. Maybe the back of the eyeball? Oh, he's got a tongue texture. Ugh. Here are Mikaela's hands, which are, I think, substantially smaller than Sam's. Running it at 512 by 512, so way smaller than Sam's. And Sam's shirt texture is running in at 2048 by 2048. So again, I think all of Sam's textures for the most part are 2048 by 2048. So needless to say, probably the most detailed in the entire game. If all of his textures are 2048 by 2048, he's detailed, man. And we have Mikaela's legs, which are running in at what? So it looks like Mikaela got the short end of the stick compared to Sam's textures, but it's still better than the robot characters, which is just insulting. Very disappointing. A shame that it was wasted, but still amazing. I'll cut back to game now with some additional stuff. So yeah, as you can see, if you give them animations, they're arms go wonky. I'm gonna guess that their arms weren't properly weighted, as that seems to be the case, as they're all just droopy and all over the place, so arms probably were not weighted. But otherwise, the animations work pretty much on point. Imagine if Camshaft had a city full of just Mikaelas. Scrap yeah! So yeah, I think that's actually going to be it for this episode. Hopefully you all found this as fascinating as I did. This was really interesting. I knew these models were in the game, but I had no idea they were as detailed as this. Again, it's just a darn shame they weren't used, because the amount of detail is just incredible. But yeah, I think that'll do it for this episode. I'm not sure what's going to be next, but whatever it is, I will see you in the next one. Till then, stay foxy!